SpaceX is a privately owned American spaceflight company founded by Elon Musk. SpaceX was founded in 2002 and since then has made massive leaps in space technology, such as being able to fully reuse a rocket booster that has flown to space. SpaceX has recently been developing a rocket that would have the capabilities for many revolutionary things, such as being able to transport people to any place on Earth in less than an hour, and, the main one, be able to establish a human colony on the planet Mars. SpaceX was founded by Elon Musk in 2002 after he failed to buy a Russian rocket. Elon Musk was a programmer who helped found X.com, now PayPal, and he planned to use that revenue to buy a Russian rocket that he could use to fly a greenhouse to Mars. After he was denied the purchase of one, he decided that it would be both easier and cheaper to just build his own rocket. Elon Musk envisioned a rocket that could be made out of cheap and easily accessible equipment to significantly cut the costs of launching a rocket. Elon Musk needed to find someone who could build the rockets for him, so he approached Tom Mueller and asked him if he would like to work for him. Tom Mueller agreed and SpaceX was founded. The first SpaceX warehouse was founded in El Segundo in Southern California, and by 2005 SpaceX had 160 employees, all of whom had been interviewed personally by Elon Musk. Elon Musk even went as far as convincing Larry Page, a co-founder of Google, to transfer one of his employees to LA so that Elon Musk could hire that employee's spouse. In 2005, Elon Musk began the development of his first rocket, the Falcon 1, named after the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars, and the fact that the first stage had one engine. The Falcon 1 was to be a small launch rocket, meaning that it would be launching small satellites into orbit with a mass of under 5,000 kilograms. The development cost of the Falcon 1 was estimated at around 90 to 100 million US dollars, something that was mostly funded through Elon Musk selling all of his shares in PayPal. The program was also funded by NASA through the COTS program, a program that had NASA paying private space companies to develop a rocket that could carry cargo, such as food and oxygen, up to the International Space Station. The first of the Falcon 1 flights was launched on the 24th of March 2006 from Omelek Island, an island that SpaceX was using with permission from the US government. The Falcon 1 carried FalconSat 2, a satellite that was made by students at the US Air Force Academy. The satellite was to be launched into lower Earth orbit, where it would monitor the effects of plasma on spacecraft communication. The Falcon 1 took off and the flight was a success for the first 33 seconds, until an engine failure caused the rocket to spin out of control, crashing into the Pacific Ocean. This second flight of the Falcon 1 launched on the 21st of March 2007 from Omelek Island. After the failure of the first Falcon 1, it was determined that it would be smarter to fly the rocket without a satellite, so instead a dead weight was placed in the payload bay of the Falcon 1. The first stage of the Falcon 1 took off and burnt the whole way through before successfully decoupling from the second stage. The second stage rocket also ignited successfully and burnt until T plus 7 minutes and 30 seconds, when the engine prematurely shut off, failing to carry the rocket into orbit. The launch was another failure, and SpaceX only had the money for one more launch. The third flight of the Falcon 1 was launched on the 3rd of August 2008, also from Omelek Island. The third Falcon 1 was equipped with 4 different satellites, a US Air Force and Missile Defense Agency tech demo, a micro-laboratory the size of a loaf of bread, a NASA solar sail, and the cremated remains of people that were to be placed in orbit. All in, the payload still only weighed 4 kilograms. The rocket launched successfully, burning for the intended time. The first stage of the Falcon 1 decoupled from the second stage when the failure occurred. The first stage of the Falcon 1 still had something called residual thrust. The stage was disconnected, but then it shot up into the second stage of the Falcon 1, causing a failure. After that, Elon Musk was said to wake up from nightmares every night because all of his companies had almost bankrupted due to the fact that he put all of the money he had on the 3 rockets making it into orbit, and every single one of them failed. Elon Musk somehow managed to get the money and parts to create a 4th Falcon 1, constructed in just 6 weeks. The rocket was then placed on a Boeing C-17 Globemaster and flown to the launch site, though during the transit the rocket imploded, causing emergency repairs to be performed, but by the 28th of September 2008, the rocket was ready to be launched from Omelek Island. The fourth Falcon 1 also carried a dummy satellite. The Falcon 1 took off at 11:15 to begin its journey to space. The first stage of the Falcon 1 burnt the expected time before successfully decoupling. The second stage then performed all of its burns successfully, putting the dummy satellite in a lower Earth orbit. The mission was a success, and SpaceX was granted a contract from NASA to develop a new rocket and cargo capsule capable of reaching the International Space Station. After one more Falcon 1 launch that gained SpaceX some money, SpaceX was ready to design their new revolutionary rocket, the Falcon 9. The Falcon 1 was originally going to be replaced by the Falcon 5, but this idea was scrapped in 2005 for the better Falcon 9. The Falcon 9 was intended to first fly in 2007, but its later had to be postponed due to the failed Falcon 1 launches. The Falcon 9's development was greatly hindered by the Falcon 1, as most of SpaceX's funding was going into it. To assist in the development of the Falcon 9, NASA awarded a first contract awarding $178 million to SpaceX in 2006, specifically for developing the Falcon 9 and Dragon capsule, along with the first flights that could show off the power of the Falcon 9. In 2008, NASA told SpaceX that if they were going to make the Falcon 9, they would fund 12 initial flights to the ISS, with possible flights being funded later. This funding also led to NASA choosing many of the design aspects of the Falcon 9, as it needed to fit specific requirements or SpaceX wouldn't be able to receive that money. The truly revolutionary part of the Falcon 9 was its first stage booster. SpaceX really wanted to decrease the price of space exploration, and Elon Musk believed that the way to do this was to make the rocket reusable, usually using the argument that if after every plane flight the plane was thrown away, no one would fly on planes anymore. The first version of the Falcon 9 planned to land the booster using a parachute. The first Falcon 9 launch was on the 4th of June 2010 from SLC-40 in Cape Canaveral Air Force Base, usually referred to as Slick 40. The launch site was provided to SpaceX by NASA. The payload was a dummy version of the Dragon capsule, the thing that would be carrying any food or oxygen to the ISS. The launch was a complete success, with the Falcon 9 managing to reach orbit on the first flight. The booster landing was a very different story. The Falcon 9 was falling too fast and it blew up from extreme heat before the parachute could actually even be deployed. The second Falcon 9 launch was on the 8th of December 2010 and was also launched from Slick 40. The payload of this Falcon 9 was a fully operational Dragon capsule, launched with the intentions of demonstrating to NASA that the Dragon capsule was fully operational. It also had two tiny satellites known as CubeSats, along with a wheel of cheese. The launch was paid for by NASA. The launch was once more a huge success, with the Falcon 9 managing to reach orbit and the Dragon capsule managing to decouple using its RCS system to maneuver it before deorbiting and landing in the ocean, and then later being picked up by a SpaceX boat. Unfortunately, this booster went the same way as the first and exploded due to extreme heat. The next three Falcon 9 launches were also successes, though none of them attempted to save the booster, as SpaceX was working on a new system of saving the booster. The sixth Falcon 9 booster ditched the parachute and instead was going to use its engines to land in the ocean. The landing ended up being a failure, though it also almost managed to touch down softly on the ocean. Another three versions of this touchdown were performed, two of which ended in success before SpaceX began attempting to land their booster on a boat in the middle of the ocean, rather than on the ocean itself. This is because the salty seawater is terrible for rocket engines and would require them being replaced, almost entirely rendering landing the booster completely pointless. On the 22nd of December of 2015, the first Falcon 9 booster touched down on a surface, but rather than a drone ship, it was a ground pad. SpaceX received permission from the FAA to land a booster in Cape Canaveral, and on the 22nd of December, a feat that was thought to be impossible succeeded, and a rocket booster landed using its engines. The mission control room celebrated a lot before leaving to see the booster, B-109, standing upright on a landing pad. That booster is now permanently on display outside of SpaceX's Hawthorne, California headquarters. On the 8th of April 2016, the first Falcon 9 booster managed to land on a drone pad, named Of Course I Still Love You. On March 30th, 2017, that same booster became the first reused rocket booster when it carried the SES-10 satellite into geostationary orbit. SpaceX once more achieved the impossible, for the third time. SpaceX performed 121 Falcon 9 missions from its founding to June of 2021. Out of those 121 missions, only 2 failed, giving the Falcon 9 a 98.35% success rate. In 2020, SpaceX launched 25 rockets in the year alone, giving SpaceX the record for the most rockets launched in 1 year. SpaceX have also attempted 74 booster landings, and only 10 have failed, giving them an 86.49% success rate. SpaceX also made a third rocket known as the Falcon Heavy, essentially a Falcon 9 with 2 Falcon 9 boosters attached to the side. And out of the 3 launches of it, none have failed. SpaceX has also carried astronauts to the ISS with their Crew Dragon capsule, and are in the process of creating a fully reusable Mars rocket called the Starship, and a high-speed space internet system called Starlink, and they already have 1,662 Starlinks in orbit.